Hi everyone, we're going to get our meeting started, so thank you for coming. Okay, so in December we raised $387 and we electroplated ornaments, and we did our Best of Friends collaboration. So thank you for participating in December's activities.
Okay, so we also have some community service opportunities coming up. First of all is recycling, which we've been doing throughout the year, which has actually been really good, and I've noticed a lot more teachers using their recycling bins for us. We need a minimum of 6 members to sign up to volunteer to collect recycling from Building 4 on Wednesdays and Fridays after school. So if you wanted to sign up, we have this little sheet right here. And also, we wanted to do some tutoring, which you could scan the QR code below if you're interested in providing science tutoring to students before midterms. It's going to be a stressful week, and I'm sure some of the kids would love some help from the best science kids on campus, of course. So if you wanted to do that, you could just scan that now, or is there like another link or anything, or should we just give them time now? Okay, so this one's the QR code if you wanted to do that.
Getting people into the Zoom.
Okay, so our science fair winners were Caitlin Paul and Gabe Hoberman.
Thank you. Okay, so for our science fair project, we decided to make a baked Alaska, which is like, it's a cake, like a sponge cake, and then you put ice cream on top of it, and then you put meringue over it, and you put it in the oven so that the meringue bakes, but then the ice cream still stays frozen. So we decided to use that to test insulation.
Yeah, so we tested 3 different cake types. We did a cake with no meringue, a single batch of meringue, and a double batch of meringue. And then we collected different data. So we take the internal temperature of the ice cream at different time intervals. Then we put it all in some data tables and graphs. And yeah, we just wanted to look at the effects of insulation.
So we can admire
Hi, I'm Gabe Hoberman.
And here's our video presentation.
This is our project, Insulation, the New Sensation Sweeping the Nation.
So for our project, we decided to use a baked Alaska as a small-scale model to show the effects of insulation.
So here's the definition of a few key terms we used during our project. Insulation, heat transfer, convection, conduction, and kinetic energy.
When you have 2 different objects that have a difference in heat, the kinetic energy from the warmer object transfers to the colder object. Now, insulation works to slow down this process and heat transfer.
So what is baked Alaska? Aside from a really fun science fair experiment, it's a delicious dessert which places ice cream in a hot oven, protected by a layer of sponge cake and meringue.
You may wonder, how this ice cream stays frozen while inside a hot oven. It's kind of mind-blowing, but the secret is actually inside the air bubbles in both the meringue and the cake. These air bubbles help slow the transfer of heat from the oven.
So for our experiment, we wanted to test 3 different groups. A group with no meringue, a single batch of meringue, and a double batch of meringue. These 3 groups were placed into a hot oven, and then at different time intervals, we would take the temperature of the core of the ice cream.
So here's some after pictures of our cakes when they were in the oven for a long time.
So here are the different materials we used during our experiment. Now we were working with a hot oven, so it was important to keep ourselves safe. We used oven mitts, we had an adult present.
I kept my hair tied back.
And we both wore closed-toed shoes.
So this is our process for when we made our cakes, and you can definitely see the air bubbles in this and also when we made our meringue. So this is our data from where we had our cakes with no meringue. You can definitely see that our data is fairly precise, and it's about the same for all 3 of our trials, and you can see our averages in the black dotted line. Now you can see that the sudden spike in temperature happened around the 20-minute mark. Now let's see how it compares with the meringue.
So when we were doing our single batch of meringue, we noticed on the first trial that our meringue layer started to break up a lot quicker. So we identified this trial as an outlier group, and you can kind of see this weird spike in our average line. So on the next one, we removed the outlier to give ourselves a much nicer average. And you can see that the meringue is already making a huge difference. We don't see a huge jump in temperature until around the 40-minute mark.
And here's our data from the double batch of meringue. And you can see again, trial 1 was a little off for this one, but we decided to keep it in because we thought the average line looked fairly good. And you can see that it has a sudden spike around the 45-minute mark.
So altogether, you can tell that insulation made a huge difference in how long the ice cream stayed cold. Around 20 minutes with no meringue, you can see that the temperature quickly shot up, where it took almost double this time when we added even just a single layer of meringue.
So in conclusion, we saw a direct correlation between the amount of insulation and how resistant it was to change the temperature of the internal part of the ice cream. Now, a good application for this type of insulation can be seen in space, where we have astronauts and their rockets come down, and when they come back into the atmosphere, it is very, very hot. So to protect the astronauts, NASA uses a lightweight carbon fiber composite material to help protect from the heat.
So our different strengths and weaknesses. So our data and temperatures were precise with each amount of insulation, and you can definitely see this correlate on our graphs. You can see our average line lines up pretty close to our different trials. We also identified our outlier group to help increase the data's accuracy. Now, of course, this is a weakness. Having an outlier group means that we didn't get to run as many trials on the single batch of meringue. However, we still feel like our data is pretty accurate. There's always going to be some human error whenever you're conducting an experiment. In this case, it might have been when we were testing the different temperatures in the center of the ice cream. Human error definitely played a part in that.
And here's where we're excited. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
All right, so let's give our STEM winners a big hand. So they're going to be going on to the county competition at the end of the month. So we wish them the best of luck, and yeah, hopefully we'll find out the results the first week in February. So good luck, you guys. Looks like you had a lot of fun.
Okay, so our next guest speaker is going to be from the Federal Fish Hatchery out of Irwin, Tennessee, on Zoom on January 28th. So please join us for that. And again, non-members can attend, but they must pay $3.
All right, did we get in free this time, or?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So anyone like outside of the club, if you want to spread the word about that, has to pay $3 to come view. But our last guest speaker was really cool. Like, it was really awesome to listen to him. So Miss Addie, definitely find some super awesome people to talk to. You want to do this next one, or? All right. So we need some people to represent Science Honor Society in the Literacy Week, which is the last week of January this year. So we need to grab a large piece of paper. This is from the Literacy Club. They told us how to do this. It was a large piece of paper, and you're going to trace your body like you'd see in those crime shows, like just like that. And you're going to fill your outline with a bunch of words and phrases that exemplify this chapter of Science Honor Society. So just fill the whole complete picture with it. And these are due back to the second floor for admin by the 22nd of January. So if you'd like to help us with that, it would be really greatly appreciated.
How many do we need, do you think? They said at least one, but it would be awesome to get like a bunch of them, because it would look really cool.
Oh, yeah, if we all work together to do it. All right, calling all artists. We need your designs for the t-shirt, which we have, or this will be, we didn't get one last year actually because the school year got cut so short. So we don't even have a design yet, but we have some ideas and everything, but we'd love to incorporate your ideas into it as well. So if you wanted to submit some designs, you can email it to shsofvenice@gmail.com by Friday, January 29th. So we got a little time. We're all gonna vote on these, and that'll take place the following week, and we will determine the best design. So if you wanted to be included in that, I think our colors are purple and yellow too. So we'll be able to work that all out online, but it'd be great to have some ideas. So.
Okay, and for second semester, we're reopening our enrollment. So if you know anybody who didn't get a chance to apply in first semester, you can let them know. And there will be a QR code outside Miss Addie's room, and the application closes on January 29th.
All right, thank you for coming to this meeting. Our next meeting is going to be February 3rd at 7:05 a.m. in the same room. And is that the Zoom code and the password there. So I hope everybody has a great day from Science Having Society, and go science.